Get the skills, be the boss. No more time to feel lost. Lead the way every day. Find success, it's here to stay. Rise and shine, it's your time. Skill up, raise the climb. Navigate, innovate. It's your fate, don't be late. Get the skills, be the boss. No more time to feel lost. Lead the way every day. Find success, it's here to stay.
If you're a new manager or hoping to be a new manager, join us in our exploration into what managers need to know. This program will set you up for success by building your knowledge and confidence in the skills you need to be effective. Hello, and welcome to our second of the 5 series on motivational skills. So far, we have looked at delegation, we have looked at coaching for poor performance, and now we are looking at motivational skills. So please introduce yourself in the comments, and I welcome you. A little bit about this program. The idea is to provide managers, particularly new managers, with information about management concepts, tools, and tips that will help you be successful in your role. And we are looking at a 5 series on motivational skills right now. We're in the second of the 5 series. And a little bit about me. I taught for the Executive Management Institute and the Small Business Development Center at the University of Wisconsin-Madison School of Business for 30 years. And I've been a workplace learning and performance improvement consultant with my own business for 38 years. So last week, we looked at, let me get this to here. We looked at your needs, because if you aren't highly motivated, it's very difficult for you to motivate anyone else or create a motivational environment where they're likely to be motivated. Today, we're looking at motivational skills. So, how many of you feel highly motivated on the job? Please raise your virtual hand in the reaction site if your answer is yes to this and the following question. So we hope that you're highly motivated, because again, if you're not very motivated, it's hard for your employees to be. And how many of you have difficulty motivating your employees? Maybe not all of them, but possibly some of them. And there's been a lot of talk about quiet quitting, where employees are not highly motivated and they're just putting in their time. So Tabitha says, not me. That's great. I'm glad to hear it. And it does not surprise me in the least. So I welcome you. We talked about your needs. We're now going to talk about primary motivators. And I am apparently in the wrong place. So we're just going to have to move this up. There we are. So 99% of employees are motivated by one of the following. And as we go through this, think about where you fall under this. The first is the need for achievement. These employees want the satisfaction of accomplishing projects successfully. They want to exercise their talents to attain success. So they're very self-motivated if the job is challenging enough. So you want to provide them with the right work assignments, and they will consistently produce. When I think about myself, I fall under this category. I'm highly self-motivated, and I want to achieve. How about you? Yes, Tabitha, quiet quitting is hard on the company. The second motivator is the need for power. These employees get satisfaction from influencing and controlling others. They like to lead and persuade and are motivated by positions of power and leadership. Give them the opportunity to make decisions and direct projects. What we don't want them doing is hoarding information, because information is also power. Then we have the need for affiliation. These are highly people-oriented folks. They derive satisfaction from interacting with others. So they enjoy people and find the social aspects of the workplace rewarding. You can create a motivational atmosphere for them by giving them opportunities to interact with others, teamwork projects, group meetings, etc. This is particularly important if they are in a job where they don't have a lot of contact with others. If they are highly motivated by the need for affiliation, giving them special projects or assigning them to represent you at meetings or in task forces is really essential to keeping them happy. The need for autonomy. These employees want freedom and independence. They are not going to respond well if you are micromanaging them, overseeing every step that they take. You need to allow them to make their own choices, set their own schedules, and work independently of others. The need for esteem. These employees need recognition and praise. You want to give them ample knowledge of results and public recognition whenever possible. Now, it doesn't have to be public recognition. You may have some high performers who are motivated by achievement and are self-directing and doing beautiful work for you. And very often, as we looked at in coaching for poor performers, a lot of our time goes toward those people who are not performing well. And we forget to recognize the people who are consistently showing up, doing the work, and doing it well. So please don't forget about them. Then we have the need for safety and security. They need steady income, health insurance, a hazard-free work environment, and job security. You have to give them predictable work with little risk or uncertainty. And salary and fringe benefits are very important to them. I want to be very clear that there is no hierarchy here. If you have looked at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, very often the need for safety and security is shown at a lower level than the esteem, recognition, achievement. All of these are equally important. None of them is better than the other. And it's important for you to recognize when you have an employee who has this need for safety and security, because if you're someone like me who likes challenges and you think, well, if I like challenges, obviously my employees will like challenges and that's how I can reward them, it's going to backfire very quickly. Keep in mind what it is that people find most important to them. Then we have the need for equity. These employees want to be treated fairly. They compare work hours, job duties, salary, and privileges to those of other employees, and they can become discouraged if they perceive inequities. So those are the 7 factors that highly motivate 99% of your employees. At least one of these will. So, what are your needs? Achievement, power, affiliation, autonomy, esteem, safety and security, equity. And these are not in any priority order. These are just the order that they were covered in my presentation. Where do you stand? Now, some of you may be having trouble deciding between them. For example, I know that I am achievement motivated, and I think that probably, although I have no statistical support for this, but I think that many entrepreneurs are achievement oriented. Perhaps they're power oriented. Certainly autonomy. Those of us who are unhappy being given direction by someone else are going to be highly motivated by autonomy. But perhaps working for yourself gives you the safety and security you didn't feel you had if you had experienced being laid off, for example, once or twice from other jobs, as some entrepreneurs have. But we're talking about managers. Tabitha says, I want to be part of something good, but a thank you goes a far way. Yes, this is so true. I was working for an agency and I was working day and night. I came in on the weekends. I worked late, trying to do my very best in my role. And I never got a thank you. Not once. Not one time did anyone recognize the work that I was doing, the results that I was achieving, and say a simple thank you. And that would have meant so much. So this doesn't have to be great fanfare. It would be nice if there's a letter to the file talking about what that person has achieved and why we are recognizing it. But even a simple thank you will go a long way. So, time for discussion and questions. Some questions occurred to me, and that is first, can you be motivated by more than one motivational factor? And I think, yes, you can. And I also think that depending on where you are in life and based on situations, that those can change. If you're highly motivated by achievement, but you've been laid off from a position, safety and security may be what highly motivates you at that moment. I was mentioning that I thought mine was achievement and autonomy, although, as Tabitha said, it's nice to get a thank you. It's nice to have esteem recognized. But what do you think? Do you think it's possible to move through these different motivational factors depending on where you are in life and where you are situationally? What do you think? As I've said, I think it's highly possible and highly likely. Tabitha says, I think if I want to keep good employees, it will be easy to change the way I speak and engage with others using your 7 points. Thank you. Yes, I agree, because it is going to affect how we talk with employees. For example, thinking about when you delegate some new task to a person who is motivated by challenge and achievement, they need to know what you need from them and when you need it, and off there to the running. The person who is needing safety and security needs you to outline it very, very carefully and to slowly build them up to be feeling successful in what they're doing. So we would use a very different approach. So think about how when you delegate work, when you assign work, do you assign it the same way to everyone, or do you change how you approach them? You have probably in your past taken personality tests and are aware that different personalities respond to different words. A task-oriented person needs you to get right down to business. The people-oriented person, who would probably be most motivated by affiliation, needs to have some small talk and to be recognized as a human being with a life before we get into the actual aspects of the work that needs to be done. The detail-oriented person needs lots of data, and this is the person who's risk averse and would be mostly focused on motivated by safety and security. So we'd have to show there's ample precedent. This has been done before. It can be done safely. There's no risk involved. And then we have the idea-oriented person who is excited with anything new, but isn't necessarily good at follow-through. So we would delegate in a very different way to them. Do you know the financial impact if we do not work to retain our team members? The financial impact is enormous when you think about the time taken to recruit, to select, to orient, to train, to get them up to speed, plus the time and the cost involved in having other staff members fill in for that person. We're talking anywhere from 6 to 9 months of their salary. So it could get up to $300,000 just losing one highly skilled employee. Another question that occurred to me is, what about that 1% that is not motivated by these 7 factors? And so I went to check and see what AI could find for me. And some possible motivations that could fall outside the ones that we've listed are selfless or altruistic needs, needing to feel they're contributing to the common good and making meaningful change. Personal growth beyond esteem, a deeper desire to master new skills, explore spiritual questions. Unique personal fulfillment. Some people might be motivated by highly personalized goals, the need to create something original, solve a specific problem, create a unique personal milestone. environmental or ecological needs, the need to protect the environment, preserve natural resources, or ensure ecological sustainability. And cultural or heritage needs to preserve cultural traditions, honor their heritage, or contribute to the cultural rewards and leverage opportunities for generations. So these are all very personal, and you'd have to know the employee very well to find out what it is that highly motivates them, which begs the question, why don't we ask? When we are meeting with employees and getting to know them, let's not make assumptions about what it is that motivates them. Ask them. Many of them will be able to tell you. So, what is your key takeaway? We've looked at 7 motivational factors that motivate 99% of employees. Making assumptions cost high dollars because $300,000 is a lot for any company to have to shoulder. Yes, we can certainly relate creating a motivational atmosphere to retention of employees. And if we don't create a motivational environment and they don't want to stay and they leave, or they quietly quit and they don't work up to their potential, it can cost the company thousands of dollars. So I want to thank you for coming. Next week, we're going to start to look at a 2-part series on motivational tools, the different things that you as a manager can do to create this motivational environment for employees. Tabitha says, I should make it my business to treat people in a way that encourages and motivates others to do great work. Yes, and thank you. And the best way to do that is to make sure you're paying attention and not making assumptions about what it is that motivates them. Whoops. Let's go back here. So I want to thank you for sharing your time with me, and I look forward to seeing you next week. So let's do this. Thank you so much for coming and participating in our discussion of what managers need to know. You can find the videos of this and previous sessions on my YouTube channel or under events on my LinkedIn profile. I'll look forward to seeing you again next week.
Get the skills, be the boss, no more time to feel lost. Lead the way, every day, find success, it's here to stay. Get the skills, be the boss, no more time to feel lost. Lead the way, every day, find success, it's here to stay. It's here to stay. Oh, it's here to stay. It's here to stay. Yeah. Get the skills, be the boss, no more time to feel lost.